I used to come down here as a young man, and there wasn't much here, which you know, and that's why I loved it, because there was nothing here. I ran a company in Memphis. Memphis was just a big city, and I said, someday when I retire, I'm coming here, because there's nothing here. Now I'm back in the city. Holy moly, you know. Yeah, I guess the things that I loved when I came down here, there on Mac Bayou, there was a place called Elrod's Fish Camp, and that was the main place to keep a small boat there, because there wasn't sand dust, and wasn't any yacht club, no nothing. And Elrod's a rough little place. The guys would go over there and meet for beers and stuff like that. And I love that guy. And I always remember the story about Elrod, because he used to run crab traps. And the greatest story of Elrod was when he caught a guy at night running his crab traps. And he went out there in his boat and saw the guy working the crab traps. He had a flashlight, threw it on the guy, and the guy said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm a poor guy, and I shouldn't be doing this, and I apologize. And whatever I owe you money, I'll do you. And he says, no, you don't have to owe me any money. He said, pull that crab trap up. And the guy pulled the crab trap up, and he said, now, get that bait trap and open up and take a big bite out of it. Elrod told me, he said, he threw up so bad. I think they took him over to Panama City, the hospital, to get him pumped out. You know? Of course, the guy never came back and raided his crab traps. And the great part about Elrod's over there is where the guys all met. When he died, the guys, I think he put his ashes out, and our guys all met up over there. And we went to the end of one of the docks and just dumped Elrod in the Mac Bayou right there. So he's part of Mac Bayou history, because he's in the bayou, and that's why one of my favorite places to me. And I wrote a small history. I used to write for the Destin Log, and then went over to the Funiac paper, and I wrote a small book on the history of the pirates in our area. And then when I joined the sheriff's department, we put together, and for about 2 years, put the history of the sheriff's department. That book is that thick, but we also have a smaller one about the history of the Walton County posse in the area, as I was just telling you earlier, that it was tough here. If the guy was running, they'd come to Walton County to hide. And they hid here. And when you read the little book about the history of the posse, it was tough. When the drawbridge got hit, you were on that bridge for 45 to 1 hour just to even be able to turn around, because the bridge was out of the sun. They built the bridge, I think, in 1939, but I love that bridge area over there. I just love it. And I live on the bay now, but I also love Freeport, because Freeport was a corner of a road. Restaurants along 331, and an old timer came up to me, and one time when I was writing for the Funiac paper, he said, I want you to look at this map. My great-granddaddy, and that map is sitting over there at the library here. I had it copied and recopied and recopied. And it's a fascinating map to study. The other, when I was running around here, I met another guy. He said, yeah, in World War II, there was at Grayton Beach, there was a small hotel there, and it was taken over by the Navy and the Coast Guard. And they kept a bunch of mules and horses that would tramps up and down the beach. And I asked the guy, "What are we doing over here?" He said, "Because that's when the German U-boats came in." And I went, "What German U-boats?" Just fascinating. So I delved into that and wrote a book about the history of the U-boat attacks in the Gulf. But I think they hit like 40 transports coming out of New Orleans, area and Mobile. And when they hit about 12, that's when they formed the convoy system in the Gulf. And then that's when I wrote the story of it. There were about 7 U-boats that ran the area, the Gulf in our area, all along Florida, up the New Orleans area. And we only sunk one. And they found that U-boat about 4 or 5 years ago. I was a member of the Grayton Beach Historical Society, and they had boxes, cardboard boxes, and they called me up and said, "Could you come over there and look at all these boxes?" And I said, "Oh my God, it's a ton of history here. People's memoirs when they lived there, and when a baby died, they found the baby's child that had died, I guess, of a disease or something in one of the sand dunes over there." And so it was all in those boxes, and there was no place to keep it. And we put a display of all that we could find about this early area. And the old town of Santa Rosa wrote a small book on that too, and it was all in those boxes. So I went over there to the GDC. I took all the stuff over there, and then they had a new edition put on there, and they couldn't use it. So I've had it all in the garage, photos, maps, everything. So our little library here was over there at where the old shopping center is there on 98 at that time. We stored it there, and we had no place, but we stored it there. And when we built this new library, our little group requested to have a space. So we unpacked as much as we could, the display stuff, the boxes and stuff that's on display now. We put it under glass. The library was good enough to put our local South area stored here, and now it's not a month goes by that somebody is looking at stuff here. So they're in the file drawer, they're going through the displays, the maps, and everything. And then about 12 years ago, 17 years ago, we had a celebration of the history of the area of South Walton. And we put the display up. People went crazy over it. And so now they come here looking for information. And the library's been very good to us. Very, very good to us, letting us keep it here.